Assalamu alaikum, it's great to have you here. Welcome to your Ramadan Legacy Planner. We've created a short tutorial video series so that you can make the most out of using the planner itself. So this is the welcome video, and there are other videos which you will need to watch and that you can access through the planner itself by scanning the QR codes. But if you're here already, then you already know how to do that. So Jazakallah khair for first choosing the Ramadan Legacy Planner as your tool to help you in the month of Ramadan. And it's not just about making the most of Ramadan itself, but it's about aligning, who you are with what you want to do in life and how do you get there. So it's more than just about the month of Ramadan. Use the planner wisely, use it in your own time, your spare time, keep it somewhere where it's easy to see, it's easy to use, whether it's on your desk or by your prayer mat. Keep it as a companion in the lead up to Ramadan, in Ramadan, and after Ramadan as well. And we'll see you in the next video. Before you begin your journey of Ramadan, we go through the journey of Shaaban. And so we've built a section in the planner to help you warm up for the month of Ramadan. If you think about going to the gym, and if you haven't been to the gym for a long time, you don't walk in the gym and run for 1 hour or 2 hours or start lifting 50-kilogram weights. You slowly build up the habits to get to the place where you want to be. So the month of Shaaban section is about building spiritual habits before the month of Ramadan arrives. Let's try and make up for those missed fasts. Let's try and do our morning and evening adhkar. Let's try and send salutations to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ again. So it's really about getting into the zone before the month of Ramadan arrives. We've listed out some habits in the planner itself, as well as a habit tracker which you can use. And so what you do is you can list out the days for when the month of Shaaban starts for you, list out your habits, when you've done those habits, and also some reflective space as well before the month of Ramadan begins. Stage 1 of the Ramadan Legacy Planner is knowledge for the month of Ramadan. This isn't just general knowledge, but it's more about the deepness and the contemplation and the spirituality behind the month of Ramadan itself. It's a short section, but it will really give you that inspiration that you need to power you through the month of Ramadan. Ramadan is a glimpse of the person that you can be every single day, and it also gives that clarity in our lives once again. We go through this year and we pick up the debris, and that debris, it sits on our hearts, it sits on our minds. But when the month of Ramadan arrives, we're able to finally understand who we are and what we really want to do and have an idea of how to get there as well. So the knowledge section is really about giving you that roadmap for the month of Ramadan, in Ramadan, but also beyond Ramadan as well. Stage 2 of the Ramadan Legacy Planner are a series of contemplation exercises before the month of Ramadan begins. You can think of it as a consultation with your own heart. There's 7 questions with some guidance notes on how to answer those questions as well. And it's really about thinking about, what are you grateful for since last Ramadan? What have you achieved that you're proud of? What struggles have you overcome, and what struggles are you still going through? What lessons have you learned? How is your spiritual self? And also, where do you want to go? What's your ultimate dream? But what are the things that are holding you back? And ultimately, through these 7 questions, you'll get a really good understanding of where you are, where you want to go, and how can you get there, but also what's holding you back. I think what happens is that through the year, a lot of different events happen, especially this year. A lot has happened in the past year, but these exercises help you to take stock, help you to reflect and contemplate, and really give you that fuel, that spiritual fuel and insight that you need in order for your Ramadan to be as impactful and as meaningful as possible as well. Stage 3 of the Ramadan Legacy Planner are about your goals and your du'as as well. This is a new section in the planner compared to previous planners because it gives you a specific section on setting your goals, your du'as for the month of Ramadan. It's a brief section which you'll frequently refer back to. Sometimes we set goals and then we completely forget what they are, or we don't know where we've even stored them. So this section helps you to capture those goals, write down what they are, but also the du'as that you need to help you achieve those goals, and also all the other du'as that you want to make to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the month of Ramadan, and also beyond the month of Ramadan as well. I think there's so many times where there are so many du'as that we want to make, or there's things that we've just forgotten to make du'a for because we simply haven't written them down. This section also has a few other things to help you, such as your Quran plan. Some people like to finish the Quran, some people like to read a smaller sections but understand what the Quran is really trying to say. And there's also a Quran reading roadmap as well. And I guess Ramadan is not just about what you should do, but also what you shouldn't be doing. And I guess Islam in general has this, two-pronged practice where it's about what you need to do, but also what you need to avoid at the same time. So we've got a good deeds tree so that you can map out all the good things you want to do in Ramadan, but also a bad habits tracker so that you can avoid the bad habits which people have been telling you off for the past year on not to do. That's the section there, which really helps you to define your goals, your du'as, your Quran, the good deeds, and the bad deeds which you need to avoid before the month of Ramadan begins. So now, stage 4 is your actual 30-day Ramadan legacy planner. It begins with a night before Ramadan checklist, which again is a new feature of the new version of the planner. We found that this is helpful because when the moon is sighted, which is sometimes you find that out last minute, everyone is scrambling around to figure out what should I actually do at this point in time. And all of a sudden we realize that we need to rush to the masjid and pray Tarawih. So we have a checklist to help you before the month of Ramadan begins. What we then have is a daily page, which is a double page spread. And I'm going to take some time to explain how do you best use this double page spread. So the first thing that you do is you fill out what the date is, and if you're fasting this day or not, and if you're excused. You then track your worship in each day through tracking your prayers, your Quran, and some habits as well. And there's also a schedule section where you can write down what are the key things that you want to achieve today, or what is on your schedule for the day. Perhaps you're working, perhaps you're a parent, perhaps you run a business or an organization, or you're an imam of a masjid, or just someone who's got extra things that they need to do. So you write down all of those things on your schedule so that you can understand what time do you have and what time can you make for the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala today. Another key section of this double page are the daily goals. So you can see that there's 3 daily goals that you'll be able to set for yourself. Now these daily goals are ultimately fueled by what you set your goals to be in the previous section of the planner. So if you set that your goal was to improve your prayer, and you set down what those 3 goals were to help you to improve your prayer, then inching one step towards achieving those goals would essentially be the goal that you would set on this section of the planner. That way your daily goals align with your overall goals for Ramadan, which align with that overall change that you're trying to make in the month of Ramadan as well. And there's also reflection space here, and different people like to use the reflection space in different ways. But you can use it for notes on something that you've learned or studied on that day, for daily gratitude in the morning or the evening, or just extra space that you need to brain dump all your ideas, what's going on in your mind or your heart in that day in the month of Ramadan, so that you can track your Ramadan legacy. So these 2 daily pages are really, the be all and end all of your Ramadan daily legacy kind of journey that you go through. But incrementally doing this through 30 days helps you build up that habit that you need to continue on this worship for the rest of the year. If you're watching this video, then congratulations, you've made it to the end of Ramadan. And this stage 5 is about reviewing your Ramadan, but also how can you continue on that worship on the day of Eid. When you're reviewing your Ramadan progress, there's 2 different ways in which you can do it. The first way is to understand how much you did in the month of Ramadan in terms of your worship. But I think also what's just as important is understanding what you discovered about yourself in the month of Ramadan, what you discovered deeply about your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So there's 2 exercises here that you can do. The first is writing a personal letter for next Ramadan. This is one of the most emotional exercises that you can do. And if you used the planner last year, you'll be able to start off with this section in the following year's planner. So it's essentially, you write a letter to yourself with all of the things that you really wrote down that you wanted to achieve. And the first thing that you do next Ramadan is look at this and think, did I achieve them? Where did I get to with this? Did I become the person that I set out that I wanted to be? And the next exercise is this Ramadan review, and it's really simple. We've made it so simple and easy for you to think about how to continue on your worship after the month of Ramadan. And it's 4 sections. It's start, stop, change, and continue. What do you want to start doing in your life after the month of Ramadan? What do you need to stop doing? What do you need to change about yourself, your habits, your worship, your character, your personality? And what are the things that you want to continue on doing as well? And these really help to formulate a plan that you can stick to after the month of Ramadan. Welcome to the last section of the Ramadan Legacy Planner. And this is a short, sharp plan on how to continue on your spirituality after the month of Ramadan. We call it the Shawwal Post-Ramadan Action Plan. And it really mirrors what you did at the start of this journey. So when you entered into the month of Ramadan, which was in the month of Shaaban, you set habits that you wanted to stick to on each day of that month. And it's really about continuing on those habits, those micro things that you do every day to help you keep steadfast and on track on your journey to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's a similar exercise whereby you set down the habits that you want to keep to after the month of Ramadan, the days of the month of Shawwal, and also tracking those habits as well. So on these 2 pages, and you can take these 2 pages out of the planner, you can put them on your desk or your wall and be able to have a visual track, a visual understanding as to what are the things that you want to stick to after the month of Ramadan. And there's also a section here for post-Ramadan goals. If you want to make up for any missed fasts, if you want to continue on learning something that you learned in the month of Ramadan, or a course or a book, or even a halaqah or something that you want to continue on, and also some personal space as well. On these 2 pages, you'll be able to understand what are those habits that you really want to stick to after the month of Ramadan without having to go through a long, laborious process of thinking, what should I actually do after the month of Ramadan has ended? After the month of Ramadan, the biggest crisis that we face is, what do I do after the month of Ramadan? And the best advice that I can give you, the best way to think about it, is that Ramadan is a 30-day cycle. And in this month, we understand that it's going to end. We understand what we want to achieve. And we understand what are the things that we want to do daily so that we can get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So just repeat that same process throughout the year. For the month of Shawwal and the other months in the year, set out a goal. What is it that you want to achieve? What will you do every day to help you achieve that goal? And write it down so that you can track how well you're doing on that goal and those habits that you've already set for yourself as well. So Jazakallah khair, and thanks very much for using the Ramadan Legacy Planner this year. And inshallah, I hope it's brought benefit to you. And if you have any feedback, please do let us know. Assalamu alaikum.